Persona 5 Tactica!
You thought the Phantom Thieves were done? Think again. Their latest heist doesn't begin in Tokyo. It begins in chaos. Dragged into a dimension unlike anything we've seen before, they find themselves surrounded by soldiers and shadows. At the center of it all stands a tyrant bride. Welcome to the Wedding Kingdom. But how did the thieves get here? And who is the mysterious rebel that dares to fight back? A girl named Erina. Persona 5 Tactica begins not with calm, but with chaos. The Phantom Thieves are back together in Tokyo, sharing a quiet moment, when suddenly, the world around them fractures. A strange light swallows Joker, Morgana, and the crew, dragging them into a dimension they've never seen before. This new realm is not a palace, born from one person's twisted desires. Instead, it is called a kingdom, a stage shaped by memory, by regret, by the scars of someone's past. It feels familiar yet alien, like stepping into a dream where every detail hides a secret. And waiting at the center is the first ruler, Lady Marie. She isn't just a monarch, she's a bride, obsessed with perfection, turning the idea of a wedding into a weapon of absolute control. Her world is a ceremony without choice, vows without freedom. Before you ever face Lady Marie, the game makes sure you understand how to fight. And this is where Persona 5 Tactica shows its hand. This is not turn-based like Persona 5 Royal. It is not action-heavy like Persona 5 Strikers. This is strategy on a grid. Every step, every cover, every move matters. The very first tutorial battle drops you into a map filled with Legionnaires, Marie's personal soldiers. They look simple, but they're designed to teach you the rules of this new battlefield. The grid layout is clear, like a chessboard, and your characters move tile by tile. The first lesson is cover. Walls, barriers, and objects are not decoration, they are survival. Standing out in the open invites a bullet straight to your health bar. But hide behind cover, and suddenly you reduce incoming damage, forcing enemies to reposition. This alone changes how you think compared to Persona's usual system. Positioning is king. Next comes the one more mechanic. In the main Persona series, hitting an enemy's weakness gives you an extra turn. In Tactica, the same philosophy exists, but it's about forcing enemies out of cover. Knock them into the open, and your team gets a free action. The tutorial shows this by placing an enemy right behind low cover. You blast them, they stumble out, and you chain into one more. It feels satisfying, and it rewards clever angles rather than just raw power. Then the game introduces the showpiece mechanic, the triple threat. Here's how it works. If 3 of your characters form a triangle on the grid, and an enemy is trapped inside that triangle, you unleash a massive Persona attack that hits every target within. The tutorial builds a scenario where you can't win unless you use this move. You push enemies into position, you spread your team out, and when the triangle closes, boom. The entire field lights up with a cinematic strike. It feels like Persona's all-out attack, but redesigned for tactical play. And yes, it is just as flashy. What's clever is how the tutorial layers these lessons. First, it makes you hide behind cover. Then it tempts you to knock someone out and trigger one more. Finally, it teaches you to think spatially, to move your squad as a unit, and unlock the triple threat. Step by step, it transforms you from a beginner fumbling on the grid into a
In with a smile. The kingdom has sharp teeth waiting. The Phantom Thieves are surrounded. Marie's Legionnaires march in, shields raised, rifles pointed. It feels hopeless until a single voice cuts through the chaos. And then, she appears. Erina, leader of the rebel corps. Charismatic, fierce, unshaken by the tyrant's rule. With a rallying cry, she charges into battle, scattering Legionnaires like paper. In that moment, she's more than just a rescuer. She's a symbol. Erina believes in revolution. She fights not for glory, but for freedom. To the people trapped in this kingdom, she is hope given shape. To the Phantom Thieves, she is proof they are not alone. Her presence changes everything. But here's the truth. Erina is not just another ally added to the team. Her rebellion is tied to something deeper.
The kingdoms aren't random. They are echoes of one man's past. The politician Toshiro Kasukabe. Lady Marie, with her obsession for the perfect wedding, is not simply a villain. She is the reflection of Toshiro's arranged future. A future where love is traded for power. A future where vows mean control, not choice. And this is why Erina matters. She isn't only fighting Marie's soldiers, she's fighting the system that created them. Her war is personal, and her presence turns the thieves' mission into something larger than themselves. Erina steps forward with fire in her eyes. Not just a comrade, not just backup, she is revolution in motion. And with her arrival, the battle against Lady Marie truly begins.
So what does this opening really tell us about Persona 5 Tactica?
Right away, it makes one thing clear. This is not royal. It doesn't try to be a massive 100-hour epic filled with social links and daily life choices. Instead, it focuses on being smaller, sharper, and fully tactical. The very first battles set the tone. You're not juggling friendships or calendar dates. You're commanding squads on a grid. Every move feels calculated. Every position on the map matters. For longtime fans, that shift may feel strange at first, but the Persona identity is still here. The bold colors, the stylish menus, the music that hits with attitude. All of it reminds you this is still Persona, just wearing a new outfit. If you're new to strategy RPGs, the tutorials are a gentle welcome. They guide you step by step, letting you experiment without punishing mistakes too harshly. It feels accessible, designed so anyone can pick up a controller and immediately understand the rhythm. But let's be honest, if you came for the life sim side of Persona, the coffee shop chats, the school days, the calendar grind, you won't find that here. What you get instead is a focused story about rebellion and memory, told through battles that play out like chess with fireworks. And in that sense, this opening does its job. It shows you exactly what kind of journey you're in for. Fast, stylish, tactical, and unapologetically different.
Now comes the real question. If you were in Joker's shoes, would you trust Erina? She appears out of nowhere, swinging blades, calling for revolution, promising freedom. But is she truly an ally, or just another voice leading the thieves into danger? Would you risk everything on her cause, or walk away from the kingdom and leave her to fight alone? I want to hear your take. Tell me in the comments, do you believe in Erina's rebellion, or do you think the Phantom Thieves should keep their guard up? Your answers shape how we talk about these kingdoms, and I'll be reading through every one. And don't stop here, because this was only the beginning. Part 2 takes us straight into the boss fight with Lady Marie. This isn't a typical Persona battle. It's a spectacle. Bouquet bombs that explode like twisted gifts, parade cars that rip across the map, and a final strike that uses the church itself as a weapon. It's a fight that blends gameplay, lore, and symbolism into one unforgettable scene. So make sure you hit subscribe, ring the bell, and stay tuned, because the wedding tyrant is waiting. And trust me, you do not want to miss what comes next.